cool. This is actually episode 10.
Is it really?
Well, it's going to be like, I guess it's the episode, yeah.
No
10
way. We've had more than 10.
that we're going to release, though.
Oh.
That we've actually released. Because we've had one mess up,
Okay.
and then we've had, something happened to the other one. Oh, yeah, we had one that week where we found out SoundCloud was no longer a viable option.
Oh, yeah. And that made it tough to upload an episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but now that we have, like, some sense of regularity, we'll have a regular podcast.
Cool, man. We're going through Libsyn now, right? Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
If anybody's listening out there and you like this show and you'd like to donate some cash, it does cost money to put on this show. So feel free to donate.
Yeah, we've actually invested now. Mm-hmm. Not that we weren't emotionally invested.
No. We were very emotionally invested.
There's been a lot of emotions paid. This is the first time that, worldly monetary things have been paid.
Yeah. Worldly monetary things. Yeah, we pay the dollars. That's all part of running a business. Today...
Actually, I'm paying in Bitcoin. Nah, it's not true. I don't have
Bitcoin?
enough of that yet.
No way.
I do have some.
Do you really?
Yeah, I've had some for years. Since, before it had that big... I just did not have a lot. I didn't have a... But it was something I kind of played around with back in the...
Yeah, I can only do so much stuff, and I've decided to miss the boat on that. You know what I mean?
I don't blame you. Like, if it's something that came to your knowledge after, after the big boom, I guess I was looking for the right term there. Like, if something that came to your knowledge after the big, it's big, come to popularity and it starts showing up in everyone's news feeds and all that stuff, then I can definitely understand why you would skip out. But if you're like me and you read about it as some, teenager years ago, and you just threw like $5 in somewhere, then
That's probably
it's
$50.
It's just something to play with.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm doing I love thinking about that stuff. I don't know anything about cryptocurrency really. I know a little bit. We've talked about it a little bit on this show. Maybe we should do a whole episode about it because it is an interesting topic. But boy, I will have to be the one being educated about it.
I do think there's a lot in terms of its purported goals and what its and its functions and the way it does increase the functionality of currency in terms of the absolute it's instant in terms of transactions. A lot of the way that we contend that with money now, like I don't understand, like. We're getting off on a tangent. We won't get too far off. But, we're going to talk about money in a way, sort of making money. But I think that the money that we're actually going to be making is going to have to change. Because, currency is only worth what the people who are using it, how much faith they put in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people are going to stop putting faith in. When people really sit down and think about it and how often they really need to touch paper cash, they're going to stop putting faith in like a dollar bill.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, we should definitely do an episode about that. Today, though, I want to talk about what it's like to be an entrepreneur in the arts. Because here in a couple of hours, I'm going to be at Longmont Startup Week, this big event that they put on downtown. And, they put on a bunch of classes about, like, how to get your project funded or writing a business plan or all this stuff to help businesses get going. And they've asked me to come down and just do, like, 20 minutes on being in the arts and being in business for myself and what that's like. And they said there are really no rules. I could talk about whatever I want. I'm not supposed to swear, but... I can basically tell anything
so
I want.
my mom was gonna hate this little blurb. Whenever someone when you go on the radio, right?
Yeah.
And someone tells you not to swear, it's so annoying.
It's
annoying. It is so irritating.
It is irritating because I feel like when I hear somebody communicating with me and they swear, it sort of tells me that they are not filtering their communication with me.
Yeah.
But if they're not swearing, I tend to think they're sort of holding back a little bit, or they're sort of not giving me the straight shit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I've never heard my father swear, so I don't know that he has sworn.
Yeah, and I'm not saying like
But I do
you
get what
must
you're saying.
swear.
Yeah, but I do get what you're saying. It
When
does
somebody-
provide a level of unfiltered,
right. When somebody is
at least
swearing,
for the
you know,
perspective that there is some kind of unfilteredness there.
when somebody is swearing, it lets
Yeah.
me know they're not using a filter. You know, or it at least makes me think that. Even if they're doing it to trick me,
Man.
it seems that way to me.
Like, we went on college radio, and they're like, you can't say. Oh man, there's like so many words.
A
couldn't
huge
say.
list,
It's
yeah.
like, I was trying to run through all the lyrics, and like, all right, is there? Can we use the song anymore?
Yeah, no
like we
kidding.
had to cut a song.
Yeah.
Because they're like, nah, you can't say that. And now my mom's gonna listen to all my lyrics and be like,
The Phrase Guys used to have a tune, well, it still have, called "If You Don't Feel Like Lovin'," but "lovin'" is not in the song,
okay,
right? So that we use the famed F word.
yeah.
there. But you can't put it in the song title,
Yeah.
or it's a problem.
I've seen actually that's changed.
Has it?
Because I've like on my streaming service, I've seen like the actual words spelled out.
Good.
And I'm like, huh. I
Yeah,
didn't know
good.
you
That's
could
part of the goddamn
do that.
language. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get frustrated by people that don't want to use the full technology of language. Some words they don't like. I
So
understand,
you don't
like,
subscribe to the whole the idea that if you have to swear to say it, then you haven't thought hard enough. Or what is the saying? Like if you have to use swear words to say it, then you're not saying it well or something like that.
yeah, I understand being against hate speech, you know, but I don't understand but choosing, like, the word shit. That's a bad word, right? But if I say I stepped in doo-doo, no problem. But it means the same thing. So how could one be a swear word and the other not be, but they mean the same thing?
I think
I don't
the
understand.
the big misunderstanding with that has come in so vastly, for a while, and I guess you could still say, Americans was considered but the vast majority of its population was Christian.
Yeah.
So you can so the idea, like, there's that whole passage in the Bible about not swearing.
Yeah.
That is often taken out of context, and
Totally.
people are saying, oh, you don't swear. That means you can't say, any curse words or
Yeah.
so like
That verse is about giving your word.
It is, yeah. It's about letting
You know?
your yays be yays and your nays be nays.
That's
Meaning,
it.
when you say yes, meaning it says yes, and when you say no, it means no. It's about not promising things, really.
That's it. That's good business,
and not
too.
swearing and swearing in the sense that, oh, I swear that I'll do this. Just say, yeah, I'll do this, and then let it be that.
Yeah.
And letting letting that, like, that idea that it is about curse words dictate that just completely takes away from that passage in terms of what it really means in the Bible, and it's just talking about simply just being an honorable person. And so I always found that weird, because there's really no passage in the Bible that says don't say this word or that word or this word.
No, there are plenty of rules in the Bible, and they're all pretty much up for, discussion, because I don't think anybody really knows what the original writers and stuff were thinking. And so, but I do think it's a barrier for some people, and in business, it seems like they stick to more of those conservative kind of values. So, like, tonight I won't be able to swear, and I'm going to try and talk for 20 minutes about stuff I really care about, but I won't be able to really fucking care about it. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's going away too, that whole idea that if you swear, you're not serious about your business.
Yeah.
I think that the more that is normalized on TV in terms of, like, there's not this whole mist and fog around, saying a certain word. As long as you take that away, then that does tend to permeate through all kinds of standards in society. And so that means when you are in that board meeting or you're in that investors meeting, you know, and you break out, I don't know, whatever phrase you choose to say in that instance, it's not going to be as damaging or as shock inducing as it may have been maybe say 5 years ago.
Yeah. And they didn't. I mean, I took the gig because they're not trying to control what I talk about.
They're just trying to control.
I want to offend the blue hairs or whatever. That's fine. I'm really glad to be doing it, and they're very nice to offer me the gig. Somebody who totally is well known as somebody who curses a lot. You know what I mean? And they're just letting me come up on stage. Nobody's checked in on me to see what I'm going to talk about. Nothing. So I mean,
you didn't have to submit a transcript of your speech.
No way.
Huh.
No, and I've got things worked out that I want to, points I want to hit and whatever, but I didn't write out a speech either.
I haven't. When's the last time I gave a speech? Had to be like speech class.
Yeah, I loved speech class.
Man, I hated speech class.
I just got a skill set there.
Only because I failed it. Not because of anything speech-wise.
Yeah.
Just attendance.
There were really pretty girls in that class in high school, in my experience. And that was a good enough reason to get good at it.
I took it in college.
I wasn't a basketball guy. I only have so many options to get out in front of these people.
I took it in college, and it was one of those longer classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I think. And it's like the first one at 8 o'clock.
That's tough.
Well, I just never went to the classes. It's like that's not especially when I was passing the class perfectly fine without I just don't like. I hate forced attendance to things. And there's a couple classes in college that I failed simply because I just did not show up. Where I passed everything else, but yeah, and that's another tangent. But back to entrepreneurs.
But I do also think like that stuff does translate into business because like now you're on time. For your gigs, the things you care about.
Yeah.
Now you're on time, and now you're showing signs of giving a shit. Whereas before. Not properly motivated, or there's not something interesting there for you, so it wasn't hard.
So I've never been good. Okay, I'll say this: I've never been good with authority. So that's the idea in the idea telling me, someone telling me that I need to be somewhere just because they tell me I need. Like if I need to be there because I know I need to set up or something like that. I will say there's been times where we've been given a call time as a band. And this is not like this is just what we do on a regular basis. But if we're given like a call, there's been times we've given like, we don't play till like 8 or something like that. We don't set up till like 5. We're given like a 2 o'clock call time.
Yeah.
And we may not show up till 3:30.
Yeah, because like that's ridiculous.
So there's certain things like, but as a general rule, yeah, you're right. You tend to just care about if you care about something you put in. Like, I know I need to be a certain place to get what I want to get out of that session, show or whatever. So if I need to be there at, say 4:30 to set up properly and get the sound I want, then yeah, that's where I'm going to be.
Yeah, you want to do a good job. See, that's the thing, man. When properly motivated, an artist can be a very good business person, but I think a lot of artists just don't ever make that connection in their brains. They don't ever decide like, well, if I am a professional artist, then I should act professionally. I can't act like some kid forever. You know what I mean? Yeah. Maybe that works in college. You got a little college band or something like that. You can kind of get away with being goofy kids and not really working hard and not showing up or whatever. But as you get older and you get more serious about your game and shit, boy, I think that not you as you get older. I mean, as one does get older.
Yeah.
I think motherfuckers take their business more seriously because they realize, like, no, it's this or go get another job I am not passionate about.
Yeah.
And the problem is not, the deterrent is not the job itself. You're going to work hard no matter what you do. If you're going to win, you're going to work hard. That's the end of that.
Yeah.
But you inside as an artist, I don't want to go get a quote unquote normal job because I know I won't be passionate about it, and I know I would do an all right job, and I have, and every job I've ever had has asked me to stay. But like I built a better job for myself. You know what I mean? And I'm the perfect employee, as it turns out, for the job I built. So, like, I'm very excited to do what I do. And I never take it for granted because, like, people have to go away all the time and quit. And most people do, you know, in our business, in the entertainment kind of business.
Yeah, they do.
But I love the grind. I love, like, waking up every day and it's on me to move it forward. You know what I mean? That it's painful and stressful. I get stressed out a lot. You and I have talked off air about that stuff. I get stressed. But I also love it, man, because it's like athletes get sore. It's like you've been working out, you've been doing the thing, and there's you got to pay for that with your body. And for me, I pay for it with anxiety and stress and exhaustion, you know. But man, when it's rocking, it just feels so good to be just banging out some bucks over here and make some art over here. And like I'm writing a song in this room, and I go in that room and start painting. It's a good life, dude. And I'm so glad I have it. I'm really glad for the opportunity like I have tonight to go talk in front of a crowd and, you know, talk about the thing I love so much.
So you're gonna be telling them basically how you go about it, or is it like more of a?
I'm gonna try. I imagine a lot of them will have never heard of me. I've got to assume a sizable portion of that crowd does not know who I am. So I'll probably have to burn a few minutes just telling them I'm from here. You know, I'll probably tell them about my grandfather who was an entrepreneur and owned his own business. You know, he started out working for Neiman Marcus, and not started out, but you know, he came back from the war. You know, World War II. That probably would have been. He fought in Korea as well, but he worked for Neiman Marcus in New York and really got a taste for like fashion and stuff. And he came back to Lubbock, Texas, and opened like a little fashion spot, and he sold like women's dresses and perfumes and that kind of shit, man. And so I'll probably talk about him because he's a real entrepreneur, and so is my uncle, you know, who's in the arts, Uncle Jim. He runs his business in the arts, and so I'll probably talk a little bit about that, and I'll talk about kind of my developmental years there. But you know, it probably just took me 3 minutes to explain what I will explain. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna burn so much time. What I'm nervous about, Greg, if I could be vulnerable for a second on this show. I'm nervous that I will get talking and not get to what I really want to talk about, which is what it's like to run an art business. You know? Because that is so strange, dude. Especially music. Because music is intangible. You know, you can't hand someone the product.
Well, no, I mean...
It's tough to charge for it that way. You know what I mean?
Like, you know how hard it is, like it's impossible when... You know, we talked about dating and stuff like that. When you're talking to a woman, when you introduce your career, like other people, are like, oh yeah, you know, I'm a bank teller, but what I really want to do is be like a housing banker or something like that. You know, You know, when I go talk to people, it's like, oh yeah, I do this, but what I really want to do is just play music. What kind of music? Oh, you like as in like an orchestra? Or are you just waiting to get signed on the orchestra? Oh no. I write my own songs and play in a rock band. Yeah, that doesn't really go over as well.
It doesn't sound as secure.
No, it doesn't.
The banker guy, he's like, yeah, I want to be a housing banker or whatever. We don't even know what that's called. Is that a real thing?
Yeah, I think
Maybe
so.
it is.
A loan officer, whatever it is.
So I walk up and I'm like, yeah, you know, what do you do for a living? Yeah. Oh, God, you know, I sing songs in the corner.
Yeah.
You know? And paint little pictures of smiley faces.
It does not seem secure to them.
It's totally not secure. That's the fun part of it, is it takes constant care and constant effort to keep it going. It's like spinning a plate. You know what I mean? You just have to remain in this perfect balance of like money coming in and money coming out, and you get to live on the little bit that's in the middle, and it's not in the middle very long. And you know, my car just blew up. You know, it's $1,200 to fix it. Surprise! I owned it a month. You know what I mean? So it's just like constant battle, constant stress. You know, and there's just something kind of addicting about that to me.
Mm.
The kind of the stress level of it, the anxiety of it. There's just a little bit of keep you moving in that. You know what I mean?
I mean, there's obviously something that appeals to me because I don't know if it's that or if it's something else, some other underlying thing. But I do enjoy the life, but I don't know that. I'm trying to think. I feel like I'm always constantly trying to eliminate the stress.
Yeah, totally. Me too. Of
It's
course.
like hitting groundhogs in that one game. In the
Oh,
arcade.
Whack-A-Mole.
Whack-A-Mole. Yeah. That's what hitting moles in that game where things just keep popping up and you're just
That's it.
like
It's totally Whack-A-Mole, dude. Oh man, I'm gonna tell the people tonight. It's Whack-A-Mole.
it's Whack-A-Mole.
Because it's always problems. It's
And there's
constant
just
problems.
something else. If once you put one down, you got another one popping up over there to your right.
But you gotta keep whacking, dude.
Yeah.
You or else, like, those moles don't just go back down. In this game, they stay up and they come and attack you.
Well, and
they
and
take
then
over
the
whole
dream
thing.
for the artist is like, I mean, I don't know. Well, I won't say the dream for the artist. I will say, as an artist, my dream is to have art that is eventually sustaining itself, and then we're still with the ability to create more.
Mm-hmm.
So like everybody wants to, I guess, piece, whether it be a piece of art, actually a painting or a song,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. That one thing is it, so to speak, makes it big. Everyone wants that big thing where they can live off of a little bit, and
Well, mailbox money.
yeah, exactly. The something that keeps us steady. Whether you sell, you got a commercial going to someone, or whether a drawing goes somewhere, or someone's using a book or whatever you've done.
Yeah.
You want that to bring in some residuals, and if you can establish a nice catalog where that's happening, that's
Yeah.
pretty much a dream
Yeah.
life for an artist, because that's the retirement fund there. That's the
Yeah. I hear that. I think two things, I guess, about that. First is, even if I was in that position, I know that I would just take that mailbox money and open a movie studio or a fashion design house or something. I'd just be like, all right, well, I won that game. I'm just like, I'm going to start a new game.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
I mean,
I know that I would do that.
that's
So,
that's
first of
what
all,
most
that's it.
business owners do, is take what they have and try and flip it and turn it into something else.
Yeah. And I guess the second thing I would say about that is my perspective is, my win scenario is not sitting on the beach having a drink. You know what I mean? My win scenario is like spent all the time working and producing.
Yeah.
Used all the resources that came in to just do the exact same thing and make more.
Yeah, sure.
That's more what I'm doing.
So you want to be year round creating.
Yeah. It never ends, and that's the good part of it. For me, I run multiple kinds of businesses, right? So I've got my music and my paintings and books, you know what I mean? And now I'm doing public speaking, podcasts. I love spinning plates, and I can spin about 4 or 5 before I start really losing track. So
I guess
that's what I'm always doing.
I guess my one scenario is being able to, I guess, kind of do it in cycles where there's enough income or something where, like, I can explore the world a little bit and go out and check that out while still having reserves of art, music and stuff like that coming up. Maybe some writing in the future as well. But then as it happens, like, the idea is for, like, my win scenario is for that to be cyclical. So for for that to be bubbling up and then be able to come back to whatever location, or to just go procure a new location and be there and create what would be the next round of art. And it's sort of like, I don't know, like, I'm big on location albums, like the idea to just be able to go somewhere and just like, oh yeah, we're gonna just do this album in a combination of Italy and London, in Rome and London. We're gonna do these 2 places, or we're gonna do Rome, London, and Sydney. The album's gonna be done in these 3 cities, and have enough money to be able to do that.
That's a fun idea.
And take a year and just be rotating between those 3 cities for the most part and do that.
I wanted to do, man, I talked about an idea kind of like that not so long ago. My idea was you pay plane ticket and let's say Las Vegas. There's a lot of content in Las Vegas to write about. So let's say you go to Vegas, you spend 1 full week there, you do nothing but sit around and write songs. You go have an experience, you come back and write songs in the hotel. And then you record demos in the hotel. So you're coming home with, let's say, 10 demos. That would be pretty light because Vegas never closes. You know what I mean? There's a lot to be said about that place. So you'd go there and you do the work of actually getting the demos together, just record them on your phone or whatever. But then you come home and you produce an album based on that city, and you try and get the Chamber of Commerce or somebody to like give you some kind of a thing. You could get some kind of a deal going. I don't know if Vegas, they don't need it, you know. But if you did that with Omaha, Nebraska,
Yeah.
you know, or if you did that with you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, definitely. You could definitely do something like that.
Or Albuquerque, you know what I mean? That you could get somebody interested in that, especially if you're saying cool shit about their town. If you're writing songs that aren't like this piece of shit place.
Well, and if you have like some cachet behind your library, if you've already have some kind of weight behind what you've already done, I'm sure that would help a lot in bringing attention and command their attention a little bit more.
Yeah, totally.
But I mean, like, I like the idea of being able to be influenced by wherever locale you're at when you're writing and stuff like that. But it takes money.
Yeah.
And
to go stay somewhere for a week.
Oh yeah,
dude.
And I'm not even talking like win situation. You have enough like just residual income to where you're going to like I said, you can go to Sydney for 2-3 weeks. You can go to London for a month. Go to Rome and just get a flat for a month.
But even that is still work related. You're not really vacationing.
Well,
you're
no,
kind of like using it as fuel.
You're using it as fuel, but there's not but like because you have that income there, like there's not the pressure to like come out of it with like I have to have this, like it just as much so counts as life experience and just being there, as that fuel. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it does help to fuel the art in the future, which then will fuel the next trip, which is say Prague and Dubai and somewhere in South America.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Rio de Janeiro or something like that. Like the ability to, but the resources for the art to be self-sustaining, in that it just you just pop up and okay, we could do this, and we can do this because the last time that we were doing this resulted in something that is still providing funds.
Yeah, I dig that, man. I love that. But I'm so addicted to the idea of working all the time and just moving project to project. At this point in and I've been that way for a long time,
and right now I am as well, but I feel like if I was to get to that point, I feel like I'd be more interested in developing just great project after project. I'd be more interested in taking the time to like just develop like it would be probably pour more resources into a certain project than most people would advise, just to you know what I'm saying, just to because it'd be, people would call it a pet project or stuff like that, but in my mind and in its actuality and its function, it wouldn't be. Whether it be producing a movie, whether it be writing, whether it be whatever other function it would be, whether it be just a huge really in-depth album, whatever project it is, there's going to be some sort of impetus behind it, like something that drives it. It's not just going to be flailing about. It's going to have a bigger purpose.
Yeah, I thought about, this is an old idea. This is sort of related. We think about doing an album that is a biography about somebody. It's an autobiography, like of Einstein or something, and you tell us like life story in a concept album. Is that a stupid idea, or is that a totally great idea?
No, I don't think it's a stupid idea. I would I mean, I don't know that anyone's ever done. I don't think it's a stupid idea. No.
I've been thinking about it. I think that might be one of my next things. I got a dude I want to do one on.
Do you like concept albums a lot?
I do, yeah. The more purposeful the lyrics can be, the more I'm tuning in and I'm interested.
So you love concept. I'm not a big fan of concept albums.
Sometimes they're good, dude. There was one, the first one I ever heard, was Pedro the Lion. They have an album called Control. And it's great. He did a couple. The dude's name is Dave Bazan, and he did a few albums that were like that. And I just think that's the cat's meow, dude.
I like albums that are heavily themed, but not necessarily concept albums, if that makes sense. So like I think I tend to get, oh man, not turned off, but it's not as appealing to me when each song is almost like a chapter in a story. Like but it's more appealing to me when each song is just like sort of you know how you
Like a Christmas album.
like yeah, like
They're all about Christmas.
Yeah,
They're
like
a story about Christmas.
yeah, like they're all like I like when an album is like mostly about like nuclear war, but you know there's different like it's about like someone lost their love or someone it's about the politics that led up to like it's just different angles to that one subject. I like when there's different perspectives taken to a subject.
Interesting.
But I guess I don't like when a concept album tends to be like from a singular person's view. That's when I tend to be like, I'd rather just read the book.
Okay. Do you think that's interesting? Because like I'm a story guy, so like if your story goes for multiple songs, I'm like, yeah.
See, my attention span though. If the story's going for multiple songs, I'm the type of person that I want to start. At that point in time, I'd rather see this in like a visual or in a book, like
especially if like because stuff has to be happening. That's the other thing. It has to be like. It has to keep moving.
And if it's happening, sometimes I don't know. I just tend to prefer artistically and with songs, I just tend to prefer when it's like just sort of blurbs from different people's perspective. Like I used the nuclear war example before. Like it's not, about Johnny and he's going through the nuclear war and like it's about when the bomb dropped and then it's about him trying to find his family and it's about him losing this and it's about him riding with some soldiers and like it doesn't go like episodically like that but rather it's about Johnny and it compares the explosion to the first time he met his wife or something like that or like where there's like
that's a cool idea
where Johnny has like a where when he's out and about on the with the soldiers that are coming through the rescue workers and there's still explosions going off where it's just more of a party song that's very like has vague references to like explosions and like that kind of thing where it's not so much but it's just from different people's perspective and it's not like his view but maybe rather the soldiers and like the song's called Fireworks in the Sky and everyone would think it was just about a night in the summer with fireworks in the sky until you really got deep and you realized it was a concept album. So I like
that's a great idea, man.
I like those kind of things. I guess those are the ones but when it's like episodic, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Something needs
chapter
to happen in
1
every
and 2,
single story.
yeah.
If you got chapter 1, something definitely needs to happen.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's just me personally, though. Concept albums are hard to do too.
They are, dude. Selling albums at all is hard, and the music. Like I just released a new song. And I just put it up for free on the internet. I'm not trying to make even $1 on it because I just don't care about that right now.
Like where, like selling albums, like where can you sell a CD physically nowadays? Besides like out of your like
at your show.
Yeah. Besides like at your show, like Best Buy doesn't sell them anymore.
Some old record shop maybe, but like these CDs are over, dude. They're just over. they're not better than anything else around. So like they're going away. So
Well, and
it's a shame.
people just
I loved having units to sell at shows because it's like the Praise College put out a double album and we were selling them for like $20-$25, you know, and like, boy, that was great to have as a business to have some physical product, but our merch is not going to be able to be CDs anymore. So it's going to have to be something else, and you're probably not going to be able to monetize recorded songs right now. It's gonna there's not a structure for that right now.
It's like, I mean, you've got to, not in the way that's truly profitable, no.
Not for a minute. It'll be a while till we get our feet under us and there becomes some new blah blah and you release only on that and everybody has to sign up. And
What would be, my question would be, what would that be? Because right now there is some new blah blah. It's iTunes, but people, or it's Spotify, or it's some other streaming service, but
it'll be a subscription
but
thing.
There's no real power for the artist there in terms of how much they're getting paid.
They could do special deals, like let's say Spotify wanted to get in the position that we're talking about. So they would offer a deal, and they'd say, give us your album exclusively so that nobody can hear it anywhere else on the internet, and we'll cut you a way better deal. Like the right deal. You know what I mean? You're getting, $1 a play or some shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's because of that exclusivity. Now that's good for Spotify because people are going to be coming to their site.
But they already do that. Like so iTunes already does that with like some albums. Tidal already does that with some albums.
Right.
But the problem they start to run into is that it slows the sales up. Because then a lot of times album sells off of, hey, it sold this many in the first week. Mm-hmm. And when you don't sell that many in the first week, then the sales don't continue to exponentially increase like they would if you say sell 250,000 records in the first week.
Yeah.
More people are going to be like, oh, let me check that album out than if you sold 25,000.
Right.
So that's...
But people are going to have to acclimate to that because they can't expect to change the system and then expect the numbers to stay the same.
Well, the problem is they don't have to, like... So there's no... So the problem is you can rip any album anywhere, pretty much.
For now. Because that's another technology that's going to get invented.
Oh, you think there's going to be a technology that'll stop people from being... I don't think so.
Yep. It's just the matter of encoding a certain information into the file.
But then, hackers are good.
Oh, yeah, hackers are great. But the hackers are the people I'm talking about inventing it anyway. So it's like, it's always going to be hackers versus hackers and stuff. That's just computers. That's how it works.
Yeah, I don't think...
That fundamental idea is real.
I think there has to be some way to better differentiate music, to better make music unique to something, to a certain platform or something like that.
I think they're Netflix with the movie business. You know what I mean? Movies are totally hackable, but Netflix is doing very well.
I watched Netflix movie, and I think Netflix. I've seen some reports where they're saying Netflix might be in a little trouble.
Oh really?
Yeah, but
I don't know.
But because they're spending a lot of money on trying to make these movies, themselves, because a lot of companies are, now that they're realizing, you can make a lot of money off the streaming thing where you have someone subscribe, and see, that's where I think the bigger thing is. I think the better platform. Oh man, I don't even know if I should say this on here.
You don't want to get us assassinated by it?
No, I just don't want someone to take this idea. Okay, so the better platform is to have a service where there are artists that you have to subscribe to these artists like you do channels.
Yeah.
Like on demand, where the only way you get music to their songs is if you're paying 15 cents for this catalog or something per month for this catalog or something like that.
Yeah, whatever it is. Patreon's kind of doing that. But you're talking about it more of a network.
But I'm talking about something where everything is accessible, where everyone can just go in and be like, all right, I want the entire Jay-Z catalog per month for this, and add that to like their subscription service, because that's the only way I think you're going to be able to get anywhere close that they are to what the artists want. But
it's got to get back down to person, basically. Your fans are going to have to come to you to get your work. That's what the future looks like.
Oh, well, that's never going to happen again.
I don't know.
Because the internet has the internet has eliminated that ability. The only reason that happened before was because you had to go for you couldn't put a vinyl online and disperse it so quickly to another 1,000, 100,000, million people. There's never been a technology that changed the game like the internet has.
That's true.
And that's why I think the genie in the bottle, like it's like Pandora's box is open. Genie in the bottle is out. Like
what I mean
genie's
is
out
like
the bottle.
Each individual person will subscribe to you, and you make the content for them. And so like they don't have to go to a record company or a store to buy your album. Some third party. Direct.
I understand, but then I'm saying, but the same thing that happens to iTunes when someone puts their album up. It's going to happen to you. Someone's just going to rip it and then just put it on some underground network. That's why I'm saying there has to be something that it goes above that makes it more unique beyond that. Or the live shows are a huge thing to the artists and always have been because of the inability. You can't really recreate that live feeling. And now virtual reality could change that. But for right now, you can't really recreate that live feeling. And I think that artists have to start putting more stock in that, in live experiences, and what they're doing and putting out there in a live form, and something that can't ever be seen again.
Yeah, that's that. Yes.
Because
the present moment, man, it's always coming down to it.
Because nothing else is going to be able to put that genie back in the bottle when it comes to how you disseminate the actual music. But if you can make your live experiences, those shows, unique enough, then you create a market where your art still is thriving.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tricky market. It always will be. It's going to get tricky in the next couple years, too, I think. I probably better bomb off to this thing here, Greg.
Alrighty.
Thank you, listener. You're such a delightful little angel, an ear-winged angel.
Let's wish Andy good luck. Thanks. You've been listening to the Late Weekend Show. My name is Greg.
I'm Ando.
You guys have a good rest of your week. Peace.